Welcome to episode number 84 of the BEBC
BS
Podcast.
With our special guest.
You know, I was thinking, what's the word I want to use this morning? Reflecting. That's a good word I'm going to use.
Okay. Are we reflecting?
We are reflecting. I was reflecting. You may not have been. You were
Well,
sleeping.
we almost had a death in the first half.
That's nice.
I was reflecting on this little thing that we do, you know, and this is our 10th year doing it, because if you count 12.
Are you serious?
12, 13, 14, 15, 16,
Yeah,
look, I can
that's
count,
true.
17, 18, 19, 21. It's the 10th year.
Wow.
And we haven't always been at this location, and
No.
we didn't start doing podcasts till I moved out here, and I had flashbacks. I don't know if any of y'all
LSD?
ever watched Sons of Anarchy. No?
Is that the motorcycle game?
Yeah, the motorcycle.
Yeah.
Well, the clubhouse had a table,
Ooh.
and
Oh,
you had to earn your way to the table. And so our table's been a little bare recently.
Yeah, a little bear. And some of them have been almost passed out.
It's,
Bond man?
Bond
Are you
man.
okay?
Wake him up. He's got to be asleep for a couple of years.
Oh my
They can bring him
gosh.
back. But
Is it hibernation? I don't know. Anyway.
getting
Part-timers.
the table full again is important to us.
Full absolutely.
And we've been missing.
There's been a hole in our
There's been
heart.
an empty space at this table for too long.
It is.
And so when Alan said, he called me, or we talked, and he said, I asked him, you want to come do podcasts? Yeah.
Yeah.
We bring him back to the table, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Alan Wright.
He's alive!
Welcome back, brother.
barely.
Barely. Oh, don't start that now. Don't put on a show for these people.
Forsooth.
Forsooth.
What light breaks yon window?
Well, yonder window breaketh this. Oh,
Shakespeare.
Drama.
David doesn't even know what to say.
my kingdom for a horse. Lovely.
See, we can make fun of the British. That's perfectly acceptable.
We can make fun of everybody if we want.
Or the
We
Aussies.
do make fun of everybody.
A dingo ate my baby.
Not all of it.
Dango.
It's not all on video, though.
The good stuff isn't, darn it.
Yeah.
So welcome back. Welcome to the table, sir.
Thank you. It's good to be here.
Yeah, we're glad you decided to get well enough to come see us.
Yeah. Venture out.
Yeah.
You're going to become more venturesome. And
Well, it is weird. As Mark was bringing me over here, I commented having stuff.
in the car with stuff coming
I'm
past
not,
you.
know, after 3 months, it's weird.
This is his first foray out of the house since he got home from rehab.
Yeah.
And he had, obviously, when he's been in the hospital and been in rehab, he hadn't gone anywhere. So
I know.
he,
And in the ambulance,
yeah.
in the transfer, I didn't see
Woo,
squat.
woo.
We can't even talk about that.
Dude, we have been talking about that.
That's good.
That's a big joke there, folks, that you'll
Yeah.
Maybe
And
privy
Stop
to,
by the
uh,
podcast and we'll
Yeah.
let you in on
To
it.
the winner of a donation that bids the most, that joke might come out, but man,
we got
I have to get the ability to have some wind to tell
Yeah,
that joke.
because that's a
again.
long-winded joke.
Hey, before we get to football,
Yep.
because we got a lot to talk about with football from last night,
Yeah, we do.
let's talk basketball for a little bit.
Please.
Because
Basketball Joe.
you know we've done our best to get to know the new basketball regime over here at Allen.
Who, the midget?
Oh,
Hey,
you
hey,
cannot
what?
say
Hey,
that.
what?
You can't say that,
you're so politically incorrect.
boy. The FAA is going to be not FAA.
FAA.
One of
The
those.
FCC.
One of those things.
I thought maybe he was going FFA. It's like that's a bunch of cow dung.
Our airline guys back.
Little
when-
doggies.
I mean, it went FAA. The FCC will be all over.
Slow speed aluminum
But
tubing.
no,
I
Coach,
say that with love.
Coach Sip and the crew.
Yeah.
They're down in Pasadena playing
Lovely
a tournament down there this
Resort
week.
filled Pasadena.
And
Texas.
that's a really good tournament with a lot of good teams in
Oh, it is.
And so it's a good test for your kids, you know, figure out where you're at and how you stack up.
You're
and-
isolated. You've got to come together.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right now.
Figure out how to
building.
play as a real team. You know.
Over me.
And they had pool play on Thursday and Friday, and Thursday they beat
They
Katie
have
Taylor.
Pool basketball.
So it's kind of like 7-on-7.
Pool play. Boy, see what I deal with.
Water polo. I mean,
Trying to get
what kind
this
of pool
thing
player are
done.
we talking about here? Anyway,
I
They beat Katie
apologize.
Taylor 61-46, and then
was that the number 16?
No, that was the next game
Okay.
against Summer Creek, which was the number 6 ranked team in Class 6A, and they beat
Clearly.
them 63-50. It was pretty.
It
I
was-
watched
it was
parts of that game. I
convincing.
think you watched the whole
It
thing.
was
didn't
what was it? Park Creek,
you? Summer Creek.
Summer Creek, full court press the whole time.
Summer breeze.
And it's, as a spectator, it's very frustrating that you sit there and it's just like, just break the press, guys.
Yeah.
Don't stay back.
Yeah, don't be
passing
scared
it to
of
each
it.
other horizontally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Freaking do a vertical pass,
Vertical.
Yeah.
and they'll stop doing it.
Kind of like quit doing a bowl screen, throw downfield, huh? There you go.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But they won that game 63-50. And then yesterday,
Brick wall.
they ran into the number 4 team in the state, Clearbrook.
Who was not having it?
No, that team, I watched a little bit of that game at work.
Oh,
It was
busted!
live stream, you know. I got 2 screens. I can work on one and watch on the other.
Uh-huh.
But they were quick. That team was really quick, very handsy from so many
Steals, yeah.
and just took it to them and beat them 78-45. And then they came back last night at 6 and beat Pearland Dawson 73-55. So I checked the bracket
Congratulations,
this
guys.
morning, and I think they're playing for 5th place down there, which, you know, very respectable and playing very well. They have a game, I'm going to say, next Tuesday at 4 o'clock at Lake Highlands. Come
Oh,
speak of
wow.
Lake Highlands.
I'm actually going to go.
Yeah.
Are you really?
I am.
Yeah.
Wow.
I'm going to go too because I'm his
You're his
I'm
chauffeur.
his chariot.
He gets community service credit for it.
I think we need to cut you a willow switch. Faster, boy! Faster!
I got willow trees right out there. We can do that.
Yeah, a little bell.
So yeah,
What time's the game?
4 o'clock
4
next Tuesday.
Oh,
I can go to that.
oh.
And
No, I
so
got family. I got
we-
family.
I think the team
Just
is
a day off.
all
Family.
6-2.
Take out a couple hours.
What did I tell Thad this morning? You can have family outing at a football game. You know.
Yeah. Hey, I know. I'll bring my 3-year-old grandson.
There you go.
And what'd he say?
And some
No, you
Benadryl.
can't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we'll just put him to sleep.
But anyhow, they're 6-2. I think overall for the year, playing pretty good ball. And they're a very entertaining team. They
Very.
play a lot of people.
Yeah.
It's a pretty cool rotation to watch. And so next Tuesday at 4 o'clock,
Speed, precision.
before you go and eat turkey on Thursday, you can come out and watch the basketball team.
Yeah. It'll get your appetite up.
Right. Now, the varsity plays at 4. Everybody else starts playing before that. You can look at the schedule on the school website. It's out there.
Yeah, JV's at 2.
Um,
I think.
Are we talking football yet?
is that why you're here? You're ready to go. You're chomping
No,
at
no.
the bit,
I
aren't
just
you?
don't want to. I don't want to jump the gun.
Yeah, I think we're done with basketball.
Badminton team's in act. What?
The badminton team.
Oh wait, now wait. Didn't we have some other teams in action? And was it girls basketball?
Girls basketball held their tournament this weekend, but I have no idea. I know they won their first game against Princeton.
Yeah.
Beyond that, I didn't see anything. And so
Well,
if they don't post it on Twitter, they don't get in the paper like they should.
Yeah. We need
So-
some administrators to help us out and
Well,
communicate better. I guess.
you
I
know,
don't
yeah, whoever's running that Twitter feed, you know,
Yeah. Tweet,
we have a game at 4.
man.
Okay, so at 6, tell us what the results were.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be nice, but sometimes that doesn't happen. So
Don't leave me hanging, bro.
anyhow, so there was a football game.
It was at one of the best venues I've ever watched a baseball game.
Should we start there? I mean, I know a lot of people don't want to hear us.
It's
complain
about the
and moan
kids.
about it.
Well, yeah, it is about the kids.
First of all, the parking
But
was great.
parking was
Parked
good.
right outside the stadium.
That was good. Now
Yeah.
I didn't park in lot B. I made everybody walk across the street to park in lot C.
Such an imposition.
No, it's the same price. It wasn't any cheaper. I just looked at it and was like, I think I can get out quicker over here, and I think we did.
Well, yeah, because Lake Highlands left way before we did.
But the
Why
parking
so
was great.
quiet?
We can't.
I'm
hear
sure
you.
that's a great place to watch baseball.
Oh yeah.
But I will forever be of the old school, you know, and no apologies to the A's and the Raiders,
Yeah.
or the 49ers and the Giants, is you don't play football on a baseball field, especially when it's not configured
Yeah.
for the fans. And y'all can take this, it's about the kids stuff, and just throw it in the garbage. How many kids from now, 20 years from now are going to say, oh yeah, I played
Yeah.
football at Globe Life Field and it was awesome.
But the field setup at the new stadium was so much better than last year at Choctaw Stadium across the street.
The field set up.
Yeah, I mean, where we sat, it looked like they turned the field
Well, they had the
Yeah.
field configured differently than they had at Globe Life
park.
Park.
Yeah,
Which is now
because you
closed
couldn't
off.
tell if
Yeah.
a field goal was made
Yeah,
or
that is true.
anything. This way you could.
But
Go ahead.
I said this. We ended up saying, where are we going to sit? I said, I'm sitting on the 50-yard line over on the Lake Highlands side because that's where I want to sit.
Yep.
And nobody's going to stop me, and it's Lake Highlands. Now, if it's Trinity or if it's South Lake, I wouldn't have sat over there just because,
Well, I mean, there's no thing that says you can. I mean, look at college; they intermix
Yeah.
teams during their stadiums all the time.
And you walk in the place and you realize, first of all, and I give the Rangers
It's
credit,
huge.
it looks like a great ballpark.
it does.
Big, wide concourses, which are great.
Yep.
It's huge. You don't realize how big it is.
It
You
is
walk in
huge.
and you're like, oh my gosh, this thing it's Echo Canyon City for
Yeah.
sure.
It was very echoey. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
but then you look around and you say, okay, we're visitors, and you're sitting on this side, and if you want to sit looking at the field 50-yard line, you're 40 yards away
Yeah.
because of the way the configuration is. You're in the right field bleachers,
Huh.
and you're 40
The
yards
home
away.
run bleachers, yeah.
And there were people taking pictures of that, saying, "Well, looks like the Allen crowd hadn't shown up." Well, the problem was, no one sat there.
Right.
They either sat in the end zones or where we were.
Or on corners
There's
or
quite
on
a
the
few.
Lake Highlands
There were
side.
quite a few.
Quite a few around
Quite a
us.
people on our side. Now, we gave everybody kudos to the Allen folks. Bottom level, you let the Lake Highlands people have it.
Well,
There were the majority.
Exceptions, yeah.
There were a few exceptions, but the majority of the people down there were Lake Highlands. Second level, we had a good crowd around us of Allen folks, and the seating wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be.
except for the front row, you couldn't see through the railing, which
Can you imagine? I thought about that this morning too.
I'd be
It's
leaning forward,
Can you imagine being a baseball season
looking through a
ticket
barbed
holder
wire fence.
and saying, "Oh, great,
front
I got the
row,
front row."
second deck.
The
What a
problem
view!
is there are 3 wires and then the metal
bar.
railing,
Yeah.
and when you sit, you're looking below the metal railing through the wire.
Oh wow.
Because we started to sit on the
Yeah.
front row, and I sat down. And I said, "James, I'm not doing this."
I'm not. Yeah, and I'm
And
not.
you're a
either.
big, tall guy. You might have been able to see it.
No, it was going to be bad.
So we moved back a row to the second row, and that was, you could see above that rail. But
Yeah.
I can't imagine being a season ticket holder, thinking you got great front row seats, and then you get them, and you're like, "Oh." dude."
Well, that's where I pull out the booster seat.
And boost yourself up.
Yeah.
But yeah, they weren't bad. You're still a long way away.
Mm-hmm.
And again, it's a stadium made for baseball. And
We get it. They're trying to recoup money. They're trying to get events there.
that's the other issue. To me, that was the bigger issue than
Mm-hmm.
the actual venue itself, was the cost.
Yeah.
And I say that because you shouldn't have to pay $17 for a ticket to go see. Well, excuse me, $17 plus tax. Between a $12
And
ticket,
$7.50 surcharge. So it was
$7.50 for
$19.50.
2.
I paid
for
$19.69. I got ripped
Well,
off.
no,
man.
you pay $5.50 service charge, so that's $17.50 plus tax. So that's
Yeah.
where you get to your 19. You pay $19.
$55 for two of us to go last night.
Jerry doesn't charge that.
Yep.
Jerry doesn't charge $15 for parking. It's $10. Now it might have gone up. I mean, we haven't been there. We haven't been there in a while.
Anyway,
Say-
so that's a rant.
it is. We're going to go no matter what. I mean,
Absolutely.
But that's
'Cause it
one
is
reason
support
why
the
people
kids.
stayed home.
yeah, and you could pay $10.95 for the NFHS, which I heard didn't work last night.
Buffering
Yeah.
and blah.
Didn't work.
But that was an option people had, not knowing it was going to be a problem, and that may have been why it was such a problem.
But now
Everybody was trying
hopefully
to
you can
it.
watch the replay. Hopefully there is a replay. We'll
Yeah.
check it out and see.
But that's ridiculous. Yeah, like you say, it was $55
For
for
two
two
people.
people
For a
to
high
go.
school game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Think of the people who have
And it was
4 kids.
we got a water and a a soda, kind of
soda?
a soda, small. You know about the soda.
Yes. Sorry,
And
man.
it was $14
Yeah.
for the water and the medium drink.
And I don't know who makes these decisions. I mean, I think I know.
Yeah. Well, it's got to be higher up because you've got multiple districts.
Yep.
You know, you've got a bunch of people are playing there today. You know,
And that'd be great. If you want to go see a triple header of Texas high school football, I'll pay $19 for that.
yeah.
But for one game,
But aren't these individual games today?
Yeah, 3 games.
Yeah.
They're
Yeah,
back
11
back.
o'clock, 3
Three.
o'clock, and
8.
You can't go
8.
in and watch all 3, can you?
I think you can.
Oh,
Because there's not that much time. There's like
Just
an
like,
hour between
just
them.
like Jerry World.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that'd be, worth doing.
They couldn't clear out the
But yeah, that whole cost of that is just...
They were sure clearing us out last night, following us like herding the cattle. Come on, doggies, get onto that egg.
We got
there.
to chatting with people, and the old guys wanted to go home,
Yeah.
so they were...
stadium admins.
And on that point,
Yes.
Steve DeWitt, thanks for the conversation last night.
No, I was just pin tapping. That's all I
Oh,
was
the
saying.
table.
Yeah.
Yes,
No, tapping
Steve.
on the pin. Yeah.
Nice to
and
talk to you and Joanne, because Joanne and I
was.
figured it was me and her that turned the tide last night. We figured it out, so...
all of a sudden, right after halftime, Mark says, "You know what? I haven't opened my Skittles. I need to open my Skittles." As soon as he does, boom, touchdown.
magic seeds.
Joanne said
That was
after
what they are,
halftime,
magic seeds.
I quit watching.
She
quit
was on.
watching.
I'm on my phone.
I'm not watching. So she quit watching. I ate Skittles. Alan rips
actually,
off
I think the tide was turned when you climbed over the seat and put your big old foot right on top of my drink and just squirted it everywhere
I
underneath
know, and
James.
then all of a sudden it's coming out from under my seat, and I'm like, "Oh, I'm
Yeah.
leaking!
Pure grace.
I'm leaking!"
Well,
I
he
think
had
that's what it was.
It was never mind. It was.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't even
Yeah,
go
it was
there.
Dave's fault.
No, I'm not saying it was Dave. I did it, but then he wouldn't let me buy a new one. I still feel billed. He does that to me all the time. It's like when I take all the cherry icebox cookies.
He plays the
See, now I
martyr.
hadn't brought that up in
Yeah,
a
I
while,
know.
but thank you for reminding me.
But I know how you are. It
Oh,
would come
I'll
up.
No,
suffer.
Mark, it's okay. My $10 soda
Yeah.
is all over the floor. Don't worry
I'll
about it. Really.
suffer.
I tried to get him another
Actually,
one.
James is the one that suffered because it ran the river right underneath his feet.
Hey, would
River
you bring
ran
back
through
some
it.
napkins, please?
I did. So
They were not sanitary.
Lake Highlands 10-1.
Oh,
Their
there was
only
a
loss
game. Yeah.
Yeah, there was a game. We were the underdogs.
was to Jesuit.
Yeah.
Were we?
I don't know.
Well, after the first 2 drives of theirs, we were. What the?
Well,
flip?
they were making us look silly.
We've got a lot to talk about. Just so many things.
Oh, and and we try and keep it positive. We
We
really
do.
do. But
We do, but that's good. It's good discussion point. Hello.
well, and so let me start that off. So
Start it off.
we get done with the game, and we're kind of walking out. And I think we're in the car, and Mark says, "Guess how much offense do you think? How many total yards do you think Allen had?" And now we know his game. Anytime he says that, it's a phantasmical number. It's some outrageous phantasmical number.
We never come close.
And how much was it? It was
Almost 600.
628 yards of total offense. But you have to break it down like we're going to break it down.
Yeah.
Between halves.
Because it was a game of 2 different.
It
halves.
was. Lake Highlands
2 different
wins
teams.
the toss,
Yeah. Take
takes
the ball.
and they go right down the field.
Yeah,
They go
drive
like
some
8
big long
plays,
passes.
65 yards. It takes them 1 minute and 29 seconds.
That's like no time.
And they score on a 26-yard touchdown pass from Caden Dotson to Jeremiah Richards, who was their big receiver last night.
Big.
Yeah, but right before that, though,
I
Randy
thought he was a bullfrog.
leaned over to me and said, "So,
Snort.
what do you think the outcome of this game is going to be?" And I hesitated because I really wanted to say, I don't know, depends who shows up. But
then you
I
made
said,
a prognostication.
Yeah, I did. I said, I think we're going to walk all over them.
Yeah.
What'd you say, 52 to...
But what I didn't know is my prediction was the second half.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
Exactly.
Sometimes you got to wait
So
for
you're
good
like,
things.
well, that was quick. And you're like, okay, remember when we went to Lake Highlands in 2012?
They scored
right
They
off the
scored
bat.
right off the bat.
once.
And then we ripped off 63 straight and beat them 63-6. So you're like, okay, fine.
Yeah.
Allen gets the ball on the 30. Jenkins rushes for 12. Good to see him back in
It is.
in good form.
It is.
He ripped off another run for 21. down to the 37.
And we
And then
started
things-
having a little hiccups and
And I told Alan, I
Stumbles.
think I saw this play correctly. The next play, they were going to have Jenkins roll to his right after he faked the ball to the left. Excuse me, Hawkins rolled to the right.
Mm-hmm.
After he faked to Jenkins on the left, but Jenkins went to the right. And so when he went to fake it, there was nobody there. And you could just tell right then, we've got a busted play. Now, the next thing you know, he gets sacked 14 yards later back at midfield.
Yeah.
Actually, back to the Eagle 49.
Excuse me.
Yeah.
And so then you've got 2nd and 24, and unlike last week when you had 1st and 40, they didn't convert this time.
Didn't have those plays drawn up.
And they had back-to-back false start penalties, and it just, so they ended up punting.
Kind of
down
rolled
to,
against them.
Yeah, down to the 10-yard line. You're like, okay, great. Um,
Time for the defense to step up.
Sure.
See what they're going to do.
And
Are they going to press? Are they going to play back?
Yeah. And we didn't mention this, but Lake Highlands has a running back, 5'6". There was an article in Dallas Morning News yesterday about him, Noel Whitehead.
Smoke.
And he had like 1,900 yards total offense for the year, about 1,600 of it rushing. He's a very quick scat back type runner, and he on the first drive, he had a 35-yard run. Well, on this drive, they hand the ball off at 1st and 10 from their 10, and it goes 50 yards. You're like, guys. So they're down to the Eagle 40 just in a heartbeat. And then they end up scoring again on a reverse.
Yep.
The guy just walked in.
Was that
Yeah.
number 11?
14-yard.
I think it was.
Yeah, because we'll talk about him
Yeah,
later.
Shamar Donaldson.
Yeah.
11, did you say?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so it's 14-0 with 5:47 left in the first quarter. And you're like, okay, guys, you've only had one opportunity. Let's, do it again. Get the ball back at the 35. Turner rushes for 0. Hawkins tries to throw it to, I think, Turner, and he drops it.
Yeah.
They had the drop. Everything that could go wrong outside of turnovers in that first
Right.
quarter from the offensive side of the ball went wrong. I mean, we were laughing. I was laughing. I was looking at y'all just going, this is ridiculous.
Yeah, it did seem a little
Tyler
comical
game,
and
Tyler
goofy.
game all over again.
Yeah, it's just like, what are you doing? They had the incomplete pass, then they get penalized 5 yards, then they get penalized 10 yards, and it's 3rd and 15, and they incomplete pass.
Yeah.
And so you punt the ball again, and you're like, guys, okay, enough. Get on the sidelines, figure out what's going on with your offense, and let's turn the tide here. Because the more you let these guys stay in the game, the more they feel like they're going to win. And
Right. You're building their confidence, and,
You are.
and our guys' confidence is,
Yep.
is shaken, or at least some people would be.
yep.
So they
Lake
get the
Highlands
ball.
gets the ball back, and they drive down to
Down
the
to our
Allen
33.
33 where
Eventually.
it's 4th and 1. And I think they have a little mix-up in the backfield here, but the quarterback ends up running the ball.
And he gets stuffed.
Backwards.
He gets stuffed.
And so you're like, finally,
Yeah.
something went right. And so you get a stop, you get the ball back, and then you finally see
You break out. Yeah.
Jenkins rushes for 13, Hawkins rushes for 5. You're down to the Lake Highlands 44.
Mm-hmm.
Hawkins
And then
hits
nice
Jacob.
pass to Jacob.
To
Jacob
Jacob.
Brasher. Yeah.
Our buddy Jacob had a big game last night.
Yeah, he showed out. I mean, two catches, but holy crud, 30 yards per catch?
Yeah,
That was impressive.
pass across the middle. This one was for
Yep.
23. Down to the 21. Jenkins takes the next play down to the 5. And then we get another back-to-back false start penalties. And you're
yeah.
like, guys.
Well, in total overall, I think we had 7 penalties for 65 yards, something like that.
Yeah, which wasn't awful, but it just seemed like the worst timing.
Yeah. It's a drive killer. Can be.
But true
They
to
overcame.
form, you hand off to Jenkins. He scores from 15 yards out. It's 14-7.
14-7. All right. All right. we're back.
Yeah.
Yeah. Caden Williams kicks the extra point, and you're good to go. So that's the end of the first quarter. If you remember, there were like 3 untimed downs at the end of that first quarter because we kept getting
Well, no,
penalties.
that was frustrating.
Yeah.
Because we had thought when they ran the play that
I thought
the time had run out.
Time in a quarter had run off before the first penalty.
Right.
Those officials in their clocks last night, they got us a couple times on that. Kickoff to Lake Highlands, and they proceed to drive 75 yards in 16 plays. And just,
Excuse me.
they convert a 4th and 9 on our
big
31-yard line
conversion.
down to the 5. They lose 7 yards in 2 plays, and then he completes a pass.
Yeah.
12 yards, touchdowns,
Will
21-7.
Hunter,
And you're like, okay, are we here to play, or are we...
Still, back to a 14-point, which is not, it's not horrific, but we've been down before, and it's tough fighting uphill.
It is.
It's tough walking uphill.
It's
Yeah, it is.
Again, you don't want to be the one chasing everybody else.
No.
You want to be having them chase you. The next series, to me, kind of showed to me that the offense was getting its feet underneath it, that they figured some things out. Because you complete a pass to Jordan for 11, Turner rushes for 7, he rushes for another 4. You have another pass to Jordan for 27, gets you down to the Wildcat 38. Turner rushes,
11 yards.
not to the 38. The 27-yard pass got him down to the 11, and then Turner punches it in for 11 from the
Way to
11.
go, Devin.
And it's 21-14 with 29 seconds. Is that right? This thing's crazy. Again, I love the Dallas Morning News, but it's not 29 seconds left. There's more time left than that. But
Yeah.
Lake Highlands gets the ball, and they proceed to drive down the field just before half, kick a field goal, which we were wondering if they could do, if their field goal kicker could kick a 42-yarder.
Yeah, we didn't know if he had that much leg, and he certainly did.
Yeah, because they had been
cleared it by a
they've
good
been
15, 20
squib
yards.
kicking all night long, and they kicked a 42-yard field goal with 29 seconds left.
Yeah, the old coach was saying that he has made like 59 straight PATs.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he hasn't
kid
missed a
could
PAT.
kick.
Big, tall, left-handed kicker, left-footed kicker.
Big, tall, left-handed kicker.
The left-handed kicker bends down and smacks it.
He played
number
cricket.
25?
He plays on the cricket team too.
Quick.
20. Number 25. Yeah, he might have been number 25.
25.
Speaking of
84,
which, it
whatever.
was podcast number 84, and we forgot to mention we were going to throw out Grant Robinson, former Eagle,
Yep.
running back, which was so unstable to have a running back number 84, but
This podcast's for you.
that's for him. Transferred over to John Paul, and I don't know where he ended up going to school,
Yeah, whatever.
but
Princeton.
he's
You
somewhere.
don't stay here, whatever.
Princeton High School. So the Eagles get the ball back with 29 seconds, and I think they got hosed again by the refs on the time here because they drove down.
They were commenting that
driving.
they never stopped the clock.
Right.
There was a
Yeah.
lot of things going on in that, and they get down to the 39, and they throw a pass, an out route that was incomplete, and I looked up and saw 2 seconds,
And
and
then
they
it
let
ran
everyone
down.
off, and I'm like, guys, the pass was incomplete at 2 seconds.
These baseball timers,
because I think
they're used to start
Well,
and stop at the end of the game. And
Yeah. I told these guys, I said, Caden can kick a field goal from
Oh, sure.
50 something.
50-something yards, but we didn't get the opportunity. Good thing was Allen was going to get the ball
Yeah, because they,
and start the second
yeah,
half.
Lake Highlands had taken the ball, and if you take the ball, then we get it in the second half. So,
wow, that's weird.
And so Allen gets the ball
like
at the 30 to start.
It's
All right,
almost
that.
fair.
all right, and so the first half's over.
Thank heaven.
And there's some things we need to say here. Lake Highlands had 316 yards of total offense at that point. Allen had 176. It's 24-14. You got a 10-point deficit. Whitehead, their running back, had 85 carries. Excuse me, 85 carries.
I was going to say, man,
85 yards on his first 2 carries.
yeah.
All right, he ended up with 139. So his second half, he had 18 carries for 54 yards.
Shut down.
Boom.
incredible, huh?
Keep that in mind. Allen had 176 total yards at halftime. Ended up with
628.
628 yards.
Yeah.
452 yards of offense in the second half.
Right. 354 passing and what, 274 running.
And went 35-0 second half.
I told Alan this morning, I think I told you guys last night even, that is the best half of football this team has played all year. Hands down.
Felt like it.
Even against Geyer, as well as they played against Geyer, that half right there, not only because the offense kicked it in, but the defense, they limited Lake Highlands to 140 yards total in the second half. Total. And a lot of that actually came on that last drive that they didn't score on just before the game was over. Probably over
That's right.
50 yards of that. So you're like, what happened at halftime? Because I think David said, I'd like to hear what the halftime speech is today.
Yeah, fly on the
Me
wall.
too, man.
Well, I think what I said was, coaches went in there and said, look, I've got 60 JV players over here suited up. I'm going to put every one of them in if we don't see something different happen here.
Something, a little birdie tells me that's not what happened.
It isn't what happened, I don't think.
No.
Because we have it on we now have a Football Moms Network.
Yeah, we used to have the Football Dad Network.
Yeah, which we have somewhat still.
Yeah, there's a few.
But now we have a Football Mom Network. You just going to read the paper there, bro?
There's some
Hey, you
moms.
guys aren't talking about anything interesting.
Oh my gosh.
All right, we'll get ready to talk because they're going to wear you out.
Yeah.
These senior citizens.
Well,
I
and
swear.
just general observations, from watching and from hearing. There's a certain amount of discipline from the coaches,
Yep.
but this coaching staff seems to be trying to put the senior leadership, in a position to lead the team.
Yep.
And so there's not the iron fist control
Overbearing coach.
that there used to be. It was like, we're a disciplinarian, you're a kid, we're an adult. It's more like, look, you guys are adults, you're leaders, you need to lead. If there's discipline, you need to make the kids accountable to you.
Yeah.
Underclassmen accountable to you seniors. I like that. There's some turmoil and there's some, you're going to have to deal with some undisciplined situations, like maybe the first half. So we were told that the seniors, leadership talked to the team, motivated them in whatever form, fashion they needed to. They did not want this to be their last game. Period.
It showed.
Y'all need to do your job. Get out there and do your job. Pay attention.
So as a result of this wonderful halftime experience they had in the locker room,
Yeah.
Eagles get the ball. Jenkins on the first play runs for 29 yards down to Lake Highlands 41. 2 plays later, Turner goes for 3, and then on 3rd and 7, what's becoming one of my favorite plays in the playbook, and kudos to OC for calling it. I really think this Allen team has the best stable of running backs, stable when you look at the whole thing,
Yeah.
that they've ever had. And Hawkins completes a little dump off pass to Turner.
Yeah.
He goes around the left end and off he's to the races.
Between Jalen Jenkins, Devin Turner, and Kavion, Sibley. Those 3 guys, they're all really good.
Yep.
Fast,
They are
tough.
And so
I think Devin has improved the most out of all the 3 of them.
yeah, without a doubt,
Since the first of the
since first
season.
of the year.
Yeah.
Which because we were kind of giggling last night later in the half, he got a little dinged up.
Yeah.
And I said, yeah, it always stinks when your backup gets hurt and your starter has to come back in.
Weird, isn't it?
It's like bummer. We're trading out
He's
Turner
going to have
for
more
Jenkins.
than 10 carries. Wow.
Yeah, you're like,
Yeah.
looky there.
But yeah, on some of Devin's runs, he's doing much crisper and much harder cuts, which are just wonderful.
Yep.
Because so instead of just kind of
Instead of east and
vibrating,
west, he's going north and south.
well, yeah, and if he is going
north.
east-west, he's doing it really quick and very decisive. There was one play where he kind of cut to the right, cut to the left, gone.
Yep.
You
just
nice big gainer.
get it and go. So Allen scores, cuts the gap, the deficit, 24-21, kickoff. Lake Highlands gets 9 yards
Yep.
in 2 plays. It's
Defense
actually,
really
excuse
stepped
me,
up.
2 plays they get 7 yards. It's 3rd and 3. They give the ball to Whitehead, and he only gets 2. And so you have a fourth down. You're like, they held them.
Yeah.
And so, great. Allen gets the ball back. Only takes him 5 plays this time. Our buddy Cooper Cole, returning punts last night. Returns at 18 yards.
Is that 15?
Yeah.
Put the speed merchant back there?
He did. We love Coop. You haven't met Coop yet, have
No.
you? Oh,
He's a card,
That
man.
was, that was
Yeah.
pre-COVID.
that was pre-COVID. Hopefully,
There's a group of them that
you
come
can
around
make
every
tailgate if we play at home next week.
Yep.
These guys, you'll love these kids. They're great. This whole group. Cooper
You know,
returns the punt.
I do have to say that I was very surprised because it was 4th and 9, and they threw it all the way down Lake Highlands
Yeah.
and got that first down and eventually scored or whatever. And then it's 4th and 1, and they don't go for it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was very surprised. I mean, thank you,
Yep.
but I was just listening to the game. I was very surprised.
Especially when you can kind of feel momentum
Yeah.
changing.
They were
You felt
wearing
the air coming out. And,
They're wearing them down.
Because we talked about this early in the game. James and I,
Mm-hmm.
David was sitting right behind us. He probably heard the conversation. It was like they were doing a lot of, and they tried several things. They ran reverses. You know, they had a halfback pass. They tried a couple of times last
Mm-hmm.
night. It's okay if you're already resorting to what I will call some
Trick
sort
plays.
of trick plays.
from the very beginning.
You know you're taking risk and you're doing things that you feel like you have to do to win, and so you have a shift in momentum, and you have a 4th and 1, and yeah,
Right.
it's at your own 35. But
And number one, can you maintain it?
Yeah.
And number two, do you have the will to make those tough decisions? And that's that 4th and 1, like you were saying.
And what that shows is that the coaches, mentally,
Yeah.
here we are, 21 to 24.
They were
They
playing
know
it
Allen's
safe.
coming back. They're scared,
Yep.
and they don't want to take the chance.
Yep.
Scared?
Scared.
Scared. I'm not
Yeah,
scared.
and especially to me after Allen just scored in 5 plays or
Yeah.
4 plays. You know, you're like, oh my gosh. You know,
Yeah, they saw.
Here comes the blitzkrieg.
Yeah.
You know. So anyhow, Cooper returns the punt to the 34. Jenkins goes nowhere. He falls down, I think, or he gets tackled because they forgot to block number 18 for about the 18th time last night.
Yeah, he was coming in relatively untouched.
Yeah.
Old coach talked about that a lot.
Yeah.
The next play, Hawkins completes a pass to Jordan for 44 down the middle of the field.
Mm-hmm.
I got to give Jordan credit on this because the pass was a little bit behind him, and he turned his body and twisted and caught it.
Yeah.
But that spot, I will give Globe Life Field kudos for one thing:
What's that?
their replay,
Oh, yeah.
because it's a Major League Baseball state. They've got the
Yeah, they-
ability to do the replay right away.
Several times too.
Yeah, they'll do it over and over again.
Different angles.
There's huge screens, and that they had one from behind.
Yeah.
That
Ends on
ball.
you.
Gosh.
It was perfect.
Kevin
Perfect
Murray,
spiral.
kudos, buddy, on
Or
getting
if,
this
if it's because of you, it's
Yeah.
good job.
beautiful spiral. Now, again, it was a little behind him, but you know when you're throwing that far downfield for a high
Yeah.
school sophomore,
So he
You're
had
okay.
to back up and turn and catch it. And okay.
he went down to the 22. Next play, handoff to Jenkins. He goes right, finds the end zone, and by golly, guess what? Allen's up, 28-24. You're like, that
Okay.
didn't take long.
You breathe a little bit easier, but you need to put some distance between us.
You do.
You know, and so that's where you're
Well,
hopeful.
and with Whitehead, you know, you're one missed tackle away from him going all the way.
Yeah,
exactly.
that is true.
I mean, you know what happens when a Whitehead doesn't get popped? I mean, I'm just saying. I mean, this is all about allegories and
Pop the
metaphors.
pimple tonight.
Ah, Dr. Pimple Popper, man, she's great on
Oh
YouTube.
my gosh, I can't watch that show. Let's talk about something else. What about football?
We got sidetracked there. Allen kicks off, and Caden kicked it deep, and Donaldson took it.
We thought, okay,
9
he's not running
9
it
yards
back. He's
deep.
5 yards deep in the end zone.
Yeah.
He comes out and he returns it.
Well, no. First of all, he fumbles it. He
Huh?
catches it and drops it.
And then
in
picks
the
it up.
end
and then
zone
picks it up.
Runs it
and
out.
then brings it out. You're
Yeah.
right, he did.
And there was
And we
one
almost had
person,
him like at the 5 or 6.
Yep.
only one person between him and a touchdown.
Yeah, and number 5, who I don't know who he is because he's wearing the same number as Sign, is playing on the kick team, and he just swipes with his right arm
Ugh.
and gets enough of him to trip him up.
Thank goodness.
Or Caden was going to have to be a hero.
Yeah. So Caden was right there.
Yeah.
I'm ready. I'm ready.
Yep. So
was it Jeremy Reeves?
No.
No, he didn't.
Jeremy
come back?
Reeves did an encore.
Donaldson rushes for 8. Whitehead rushes for 1. Then on third down, he gets a 4-yard run for a first down to their 47. They have 2 straight incomplete passes, and on third down, Dotson gets sacked
Yep.
for a 10-yard loss. And so 2 times in a row, they now have to punt.
Yeah, and now it's 4th and 15. Okay, well, that's an obvious one.
You know, this is where our defensive line is really wearing them down.
You're starting to
and
see it.
starting to take over.
Yeah. All those guys up front had a really, really strong game. Now, they didn't get the number of sacks like you got at Geyer, but the
Right.
pressure they had on in the second half was huge.
Yeah.
And we talked about this a bunch last night. I don't know if any else that's listening or saw it. That quarterback had the ugliest passes.
It seemed like anything, if
was-
it's wide open, wounded duck.
Well, yeah, everything he threw, with the exception of 1 or 2, were touch passes.
Ugh.
I mean, it's just like the same motion
Yeah.
each time. Just
But they wobbled. And he
Yeah,
some
most
that
of
were
them did.
knuckleballs. I'm not.
yeah.
Yeah, it was like he was shot putting the
Yeah.
ball, and
But he wasn't. He was throwing it, and it come out like a knuckleball, and you're like, "What in the world?"
is it mechanics? What is it? Because at the
know.
end of in the
Flick
fourth
his wrist
quarter,
or-
in the fourth quarter, that dude was struggling to get a pass off. He was winded or tired or whatever, but
He hadn't been chased like that in a long time. So.
no, he just he didn't seem to have the stamina to do it. And so maybe that kind of foreshadows what or post shadows what was happening before, that he has to work so hard to get those passes off, and they're kind of wounded ducks. Everything had arc on it. He couldn't put anything on a rope.
Well, by
It just- it wasn't happening.
by the end of the game, or not even the end of the game, our defense was just freely going in at him. He was having to get rid of it.
Pressure.
You know,
He was
that line, offensive line, were
They were
exhausted.
done. Yeah.
It-
Now, it's not something that we want to rely on, because if you try and do that against the Trinity and you're playing catch up or something, that's going to be an issue.
yeah.
But it worked.
It did.
We want the ball first with Trinity.
Allen gets the ball on their own 11. That was a good punt. Hawkins has an incomplete pass. And then the next play, he passes to Jordan down the right sideline for 41. And on the tackle, Donaldson, who goes both ways, gets hurt.
Right.
And
Jordan and Donaldson go down together. It's
Yeah.
not Jordan didn't land on him, but so he's hurt and he's on his
Sure.
back, and they bring the stretcher out.
his arms and legs are moving. So
30 minutes later.
yeah, whatever. Hope you're doing better
Yeah.
today. And you never want to see a kid get hurt, especially when they got to cart him off like that. But
Yeah.
that was a big delay in the game there. And I leaned over to James when they were rolling him off, and I said, I don't mean to sound insensitive or anything, but it'd be nice if we could score on this next play. I said, right here. And what was your response to me? Do you remember?
No.
He goes, well, he says, when you kill a pig, you do it quickly.
Yeah.
You don't take your time.
Yeah, don't take your time.
I was like,
Put him away.
I was like, dang, man.
When the other one, there was another statement we won't say on the air about halftime. It's like, man, the feeling that you get.
Oh,
Anyway,
we'll tell you later.
All right.
So
it's
Allen
not
gets,
for air.
they're up to the Lake Highlands 48. Jenkins rushes for 25. They get a pass to Tyson down for 5 more. They're down to the 18, and Devin takes the ball and rushes left, goes about 6 yards, and spins. And when he does,
They get a piece of the ball.
it hit
Oh.
an Allen guy. It was
Gosh,
either
yeah.
a shoulder pad or a helmet of one of the linemen, and the ball goes knocks out of his hands
Yeah.
and goes rolling. I'm like,
no.
because that was the kill shot there to me. You
Yeah.
score there,
That would have put it away.
I think you're done.
And speaking of, we need to score here.
Yes.
When that happened, I was like, really? So you had me wait this whole time just for a fumble? Really? I mean, I could have taken this 45 minutes to mosey myself to the bathroom, which is what the time that it takes to accomplish such a feat, and get my breath back. Really? This is what you do to me, guys? Frickin', I'm not watching any more of your stupid games.
All right, Dad.
Jeez.
He's been away
I
for
need
10
to turn
weeks.
this up.
I know.
Yeah,
Turn me
he's
up,
getting
man.
The
all
grumpy
out.
grandpa, give me some oxygen. I need.
He hasn't complained for 10 weeks, folks.
He's
coming
got to
out.
get it out
I
of
got
his
to let
system.
it all out.
Yeah.
So
well,
the
and so here's your
proctologist
opportunity.
said,
You look at it as an opportunity.
Yep.
The defenses have been playing really well in the second half so far. What are they going to do? Are they going to hold them?
Well,
It's a test.
yeah, they go 7 plays and 37 yards, and they get to their own 47, and have 3 straight incomplete passes. So,
Yeah.
again, that pressure is starting to ramp up, and it's not quite as easy. Plus, number 11, Donaldson was one of their, his receivers that they used quite a bit, and
Right.
he
right.
was now
So they were
gone.
down. Yeah.
and which is weird. Just thinking, on their coaching, why aren't you having Whitehead go wide every single play?
Yeah.
You're sending him up the middle all the time, and he gets 2, 3, 4.
Right.
Send him wide.
Oh, that's when he was the most dangerous.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Well, and I think, and again, I don't know these guys, but I think when they found out they were having difficulty running, you put all that pressure on your quarterback to be perfect.
Yeah.
And now
Yeah.
now you're behind,
Right.
and you're behind by 2 scores now, and it just
Well,
everything
and
ramps up.
Several of those incomplete passes were not the quarterback's fault. He
Nope.
put it where the receiver could catch it.
They
and
did
then-
have some drops.
and they dropped it. So you got to have perfection.
Yep.
Kind of like Atascocita did. They were
Yeah.
definitely playing better, but they played perfect, pretty much perfect.
So we get a punt down to the 10. Cooper returns us to the 21. Turner rushes for 10. You're starting to see that wear down factor. The next play, that's the end of the third quarter. The next play, Turner runs for 38.
Big run. That was a nice run.
Yeah, Jenkins loses 4. And then a play that we've looked at repeatedly at breakfast this morning, because it was just a thing of beauty. And
It
from
was.
where we were sitting, you could see it set up. Hawkins hits Brazier for 35 yards and a touchdown.
Yeah.
But they had been running that play that they ran last week that they scored on with Tyson, where Jordan would come across the backfield and kind of just sneak across, and they throw it to him.
Right.
And
Out
from
in the flat.
if you're looking from the back, you had 2 receivers, and Brazier was in the slot, and then Jordan was coming across, and the linebacker picked him up, but the safety took the out guy, and the corner had the slot guy.
Right.
But
So
he saw Jordan coming.
does he stay with the slot guy or does he move up? Because that's what we always do is throw it to Jordan short out in the flat.
Well, he cheated, and he went up to help the linebacker with Jordan. Brazier went right down the sideline, and he was wide open.
Yeah.
And then the safety turned off the outside receiver. I don't know.
Yeah,
who it
so
was,
he
but
was
fell
he was
down.
enough yards
Yeah.
that he couldn't catch
Fell
up.
down and had to get up, and it was Matt Welch has a great video of that play. But yeah, just to see how it's set up and to see why Brazier was so open, because the cornerback got caught cheating.
Can't do that.
Happens.
Cheater.
Cheater.
And so
You can't do
it's
that.
now
Not gonna do it.
35-24.
Yeah. Getting a little bit more comfortable margin.
Yeah, Lake Highlands gets the ball back. They could do nothing with it.
Well,
Yeah.
and you can just see that
4 plays and
everything
and
is just
worn out.
has just switched.
Yep.
Right.
180 degrees. Allen has all the confidence.
That's right.
They have no confidence at all.
It's like the boa,
Totally changed.
It's like out in the Everglades and the boa constrictor is starting to coil around its victim
We'll put the wine in
tighter
the
and
coconut.
tighter.
So Allen gets the ball back at their 27. They get a first down rushing the ball. And then on 3rd and 9 from the 43, they call a screen pass to Jalen,
Yep.
which I'm not sure. It seemed to me that the defensive lineman got in the backfield awful quick. They were just
Awful quick. And it was a toe top catch right there.
It was a pass that in the first quarter wouldn't have been caught.
That's right.
That's what was happening.
This is the one where he turned around
Yeah,
backwards, and
and caught it.
Caught
like
it
a foot
Yeah,
off.
about a
Back.
foot off the ground, yeah.
they did show that play on the
Yeah.
coach.
Yeah,
Well, and then he proceeds to just haul butt.
right up the center of the field. He outruns everybody.
Yeah.
Breaks a tackle at about the 5. And
Yeah.
it's.
We may or may not have that play, but yeah,
We'll talk about that. in a
technical
little bit.
difficulties.
Yeah.
Apologies to the
Oh.
crowd out there about
Isn't
not
it
having
nice though that when you do see that and you see your running back,
Yep.
you know that there is maybe one person on the field that can catch him.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, I loved Marcus Ward, but the lineman could catch Marcus Ward. Do you know what I
Eventually,
mean?
yeah.
Yeah.
You know, where the three backs that you talked about are stable.
They're not gonna go.
Yeah, you know that. Yeah, no, they're not going to catch him.
Yeah.
No. And Turner's faster than I thought he was.
Yeah.
You know, Sibley is very fast. You can.
Yeah,
I'm
you can
wondering if he runs track. He might, because he is.
I hope
he's
they do.
really quick. But
Yeah.
and I know Jenkins. We all know Jenkins, but yeah, you're right. The fact that if they get in the open,
Yeah.
bye.
There's a limited
Yeah.
number of people that'll catch him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like Highlands gets the kickoff with there's 5 minutes left in the game, and they, excuse me,
They start getting
they
desperate.
get down to the 25 of Allen. They get a penalty, and then they have, they get to 4th and 10, and they have an incomplete pass. Allen takes over, and Sibley actually starts this series. He rushes for 8 yards to start it, and then on 3rd and 6 in their own 35, Hawkins completes a sideline
Down
pass
to
to
Jordan. 59 yards. Ah,
The corner misses him on the initial tackle, and so he just runs down the sideline
yeah.
to the 6. And then Turner takes it in.
Yep.
Starting to get them spread out. You don't want to run at 7.
6-yard TD
Makes
scramble.
it 49 to 24. You're like, this game turned in a heartbeat, because I remember sitting there at halftime and it was down by 10, and now you're up,
Yeah.
by 25 points, and you're like, we just witnessed greatness
Yeah.
in that second half. And that's, again, I said earlier, to me that was the best half of football that team has played all year long, both sides of the ball. So kudos to the coaches, kudos to the boys.
Yep. Thank you, senior leadership.
Yes,
Thank you, the rest of the team, for listening to them.
sure.
Y'all don't do this again, okay?
Hawkins is
Get a little serious.
12 of 18 for 354 yards.
67% completion. That's
know.
that's all right in my book.
Tyson had 187 yards receiving.
Yep.
Huge night for him.
Six catches for 187. I
Yeah,
think.
31.17 yards per
Ridiculous.
catch. It's
And
It's
that's
ridiculous.
one thing we talked about on the way home too, was they didn't double him all night.
no.
And I'm like,
You're taking a
I'm
risk.
not real smart, and I admit it, and we've been told we're not smart and we're
I
not
admit
play
it too.
callers and all that stuff.
Yeah, I think
But,
we all
but
admit
if I
we're
was
not real
coaching
smart,
against
but
this Allen team, and you had to double anybody,
I'm going to pressure him and double him.
he's
Make
the
him
guy
go to
you
somebody
double.
else, yeah.
Because and we love Coop and Bradger, and we'll giggle about it, but they're not going to outrun them. A lot of people. Now
Yeah.
they'll catch balls. They're very good with their hands and everything, and they'll get their 20, 25 yards sometimes, but they're not going to outrun you. And so if you're going to double anybody,
Yeah.
you double Tyson, and they didn't do it, and they paid for it.
Well, and productivity-wise, I mean, let's talk about running. Jalen Jenkins was 18 for 181 yards, 10 yards per rush.
Which is his season average. Think
Yeah,
about
which
that.
is
That's
awesome.
his season average.
And then Devin Turner, 12 rushes, 92 yards. Wish he could have gotten 100 out of that. But
Yeah.
92 is amazing. And then, like you said, Tyson, 187 yards on 6. Jalen Jenkins, 2 passes, 60 yards. That's 30 per. Jacob Brasher, 2, 58 yards. That's 29 per. I mean,
Yep.
that's. And then and Devin Turner, 1 catch for 38 yards.
And a touchdown.
You gotta love it.
So Jenkins had 3 touchdowns. Turner had a touchdown, and our buddy Jacob had the other touchdown. So your running backs had 6 touchdowns combined last night. Pretty good production.
Yep.
Which brings us to
The rest of the
a
story.
game we got interest in today, because Allen now will play the winner of the Odessa Permian Trinity
Versus
game
Trinity. Yeah, it's 2:00.
at Shotwell Stadium.
Shotwell.
Seen many a game in Shotwell Stadium in my old college days.
ACU, baby.
ACU, baby.
What was their sign? ACU in the house.
The claw.
Her.
The little claw, because of the Wildcats or whatever.
I think it's a
That's
Three-
arthritis.
3 windmill blades
you
now.
know what ACU stands for, don't you? Almost Christian University. No one laughed at that but me.
Oh my gosh. I'm laughing inside.
Okay, thank you. So, Trinity plays Permian. I think most pundits will say Trinity will win that game, and if that's the case, Allen gets a home game because they won the
Coin toss.
Coin toss.
Coin toss.
The old twin cost.
We never win the coin toss.
But they did.
And that had to be a coach that called that too.
Yeah, so it's a 2:00 game Saturday at Eagle Stadium. If it's Trinity, if it's Permian,
Trinity.
we get a road trip to Abilene. Abilene.
Alan can't do a road trip, so Trojans, you need to do your thing so I can go to the game.
That's right. As much as we'd love to play Odessa Permian,
Yeah.
Friday Night Lights.
No offense, Alan. We either get a tailgate or we get a road trip.
Yeah.
So for me, it's good on either.
Yeah.
I know you want a tailgate.
I want a tailgate.
I could do a road trip. I've got 5 tanks.
You got to. They make oxygen, bro. We can find oxygen for you.
We can stop at every Whataburger and plug my concentrator in for a little bit.
Oxy stop.
Hey, I've got a generator, buddy. We can just hook it up to the generator.
Good crap.
And how big a tank? I've got a scuba tank. I've got an 80. A scuba tank. We
that'd be
just fill
funny.
that up with oxygen.
Take my regulator.
It'll be like Dune all over again.
Yeah.
Oh, that's funny. So the Eagles will play the winner of Trinity and Permian next Saturday. It'll be at 2:00 Saturday, either in Abilene or at Eagle Stadium.
Yeah, and if we play at Eagle Stadium, I don't know. It'd be nice if we could get our, season tickets. Purchase that. Hopefully they do that. Hopefully Trinity wins. We'll see.
We'll see what happens.
Got to find out if that game is being broadcast. But there's a whole nother slate of games that's happening at Globe Life Field today.
There are
11 o'clock game, a 3 o'clock game, and did you say 8 o'clock game tonight?
8 o'clock.
Yeah,
8
so
or 7.
8.
South
It's
Lake
at
Carroll's playing today. Who else is playing today?
Rockwall and DeSoto play the 3
Rockwall.
o'clock.
That should be a good game.
And I can't remember who's playing the early game out there.
We're
Yeah.
at
Whoever.
And South Lake's playing Midland Legacy, the old Midland League.
Yeah.
Rockwall and DeSoto and
Oh,
Tyler
Legacy.
Legacy and Cedar Hill.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Legacy.
Cedar Hill. at
Cedar
11.
Hill and Tyler Legacy,
Good luck, Cedar Hill.
6 and 5 teams in there. There's 1 and 7
Cedar
and
Hill
4.
lose.
Well, I don't know if Legacy's gotten any better, but they weren't real impressive.
They
when we
they
played
can
them.
run the ball, but other than that,
Yeah.
What? Oh, it's Lone Star. Is there a?
yeah, there's Frisco Lone Star.
They
Yeah,
lost.
that's the good.
They lost.
Oh, did they?
Yes,
oh,
they
wow,
did.
Okay.
Yeah, let's.
4 Frisco schools lost last night.
They're
the
butt whipped.
the district last night
District did well. Denton Geyer.
stepped up, baby.
Boom.
Denton Geyer, who played Jesuit, who beat Lake Highlands, and
Right.
was the district champion in that district, got waxed.
1 touchdown. They scored 1 touchdown.
It's all a matchup deal.
Geyer, man,
56-7 was the score.
and it looks to me like Geyer and Prosper are headed toward that regional
That rematch.
final rematch, which could be very interesting.
What was the Prosper score?
58 to
Oh, it's in the paper together.
13.
Yeah, Prosper
Wow.
put a licking on a Grand Prairie.
Obviously, they have their starting quarterback
He
back.
decided to play this week. Yeah. Why they did again? It didn't make any difference, I guess, in the Boyd game. But why
Yeah.
you do that? I
So
don't know.
College Station, Tepper talked about
Yep.
College Station, how good they are, and they're the one that spanked Frisco Lone Star.
Really?
Yeah, 55-21.
Some
Well,
other
he must be a
scores
prophet.
of note last night was Highland Park goes up to our stadium last night, plays
Gets
Frisco
whipped.
Wakeland, and gets beat in a 2-point conversion with 27 seconds left.
Frisco Wakeland, they like breached the field.
Storm the field.
Did they storm our field?
And we've never done that.
No.
And who was it? Was it Big Matt that tweeted out?
Yeah, Matt Diggs said, who would have thought Wakeland was going to storm the field before I did? Because, he's always said when Plano East beats Allen, he's going to storm the field shirtless.
Oh my gosh.
Who said that?
Professor Diggs.
Diggs said
Yeah.
Diggs.
shirtless?
Yeah.
Oh, man.
That's something else. And then Louisville, a resurgent, Louisville that's good this year, took on Arlington Martin, ended up beating them 35-18.
Did they really?
Yeah, beat
Wow.
Wager
I mean,
and
they're
Arlington
just
Martin.
kind of like hot and cold, too.
I know, but they've been pretty hot this year. I don't know what the record is, but then Lovejoy beats Burleson 28-23.
Stop right there.
Yes,
'cause
sir.
We ran into Jim Bob Puckett at breakfast
Oh,
this morning.
Jim Bob. What
Our buddy
a great
Jim
guy.
Bob.
Nice guy.
He told us that Burleson dropped a touchdown in the end zone.
Oh.
that would have won the game for them last night.
Oh,
So
that's gotta be
Lovejoy, they lost their last game. Frisco Liberty, who just got waxed by Alito last night, 57-14, beat Lovejoy the last game of the year. And Lovejoy, a little bit of the mojo. He said Burleson was good, but what was Burleson? I don't even know what Burleson's record was. We can look.
But was Lovejoy playing with their food?
Well,
I don't know.
they obviously.
They get Mansfield Timberview.
Good luck.
Lovejoy defense forced an incompletion on 4th down in its own end zone with
Yeah.
41 seconds left.
Oh, that would be weird to
Yeah.
play for that defense. I'd like to play for a better defense. It's about 4 miles west of you.
Yeah,
But I mean, that's
exactly.
just me.
Well, and Lovejoy was up 21-0 in that game and hung on and won 28-23. So
Well, good for them. So they get Mansfield Timberview, who, by the way, beat the Ennis team that was the top of the district out in Forney.
Forney, yep.
Whipped on Forney. And so
Mansfield's
they
good.
beat them 42-21. So that Mansfield Timberview apparently is a good team.
Yeah.
I think
Every
Lovejoy's
time
going
I've
to have
seen
their
them, they're
hands
very
full.
good. They will have their hands full.
So what'll be interesting to see is who has a Friday night game this week that we
Could
might
play
be
in
able
our
to check
stadium.
out
Yeah.
I hope so. I
It'd be
hope.
nice somebody does.
Yeah.
They'll get the schedule out after
Tomorrow.
Tomorrow, yeah. Once these games are final today. But yeah, the Eagles continue
We're
on.
going to have to get more tanks, guys.
Tanks for nothing.
And we'll see who the opponent is. And again, if we're playing at our place, we'll tailgate.
We'll
2 o'clock
tailgate.
game.
But
We'll
we'll start
start
early.
early.
We'll start early.
10 o'clock.
Yeah, if not before, and we'll have lunch out there. Y'all stop by, say hello.
Yeah.
Let's chat it up.
Because it'll be a 2 o'clock game. If we're playing at our stadium, 2 o'clock game Saturday. The rain is supposed to be all done by then. We're
Yeah.
supposed to get, 4 or 5 inches of rain.
on Thursday.
Are we
Yeah.
really?
Oh,
Wednesday,
yeah.
Thursday, yeah.
Oh, wow. I
And
gotta
maybe
pay
a little bit
attention.
Friday
Build the
morning.
ark,
but,
brother.
yeah, build the ark.
Hey, you bring that truck with all those flags too.
He can't drive.
I'll drive your truck.
Yeah, James can come by and get your truck.
Yeah,
Right.
I need to borrow a truck anyway.
Uh-oh.
Good.
Friend.
Because
What happened to Big Red?
Big Red's sitting there with a
Pouting.
With a piston hanging out?
well, I do have a miss there, but yeah, I've got some fuel pump issues.
Okay. It's
So,
just sitting out in front, baby.
Yeah.
one more game at least.
Even the
It'll-
trash guys
We'll
are
either
ogling
see
over it.
y'all
Hey, what are you going to do with that truck?
in Abilene, or we'll see you at the Stadium,
Stage 'em.
whichever one it is.
Yeah, that's
next
right.
Saturday.
Eagle Stage 'em.
Stage 'em.
Yeah.
I hope, you know what I'm thinking, and I hope she's listening, because I kind of hope it's a home game. Because we get dessert one more time.
Oh, Shay. The way you bake is just so yummy.
Is that awful of me, David?
No,
Jay, if
it's-
you're
it's-
listening,
It's not awful of you.
make something special.
Oh.
Because we don't get this very often.
No, not this late in the year.
Yeah, so it'd be wonderful to get,
Shay bakes treats.
baked
Shay's the
treats.
best baker in the world.
So, just
Yeah,
FYI.
I don't do sweets really anymore.
I don't do sweets anymore. I've got no taste.
It sucks.
It
Sucks.
does.
Yeah.
I mean, I taste chocolate and it all tastes like coconut. I don't know what's up with that.
Chocolate.
Chocolate tastes
coconut.
like coconut.
It's weird. I
It
don't
is
know.
weird.
Anything else we want to talk about? Volleyball? Do we have a badminton team? That
No,
would be cool.
We do not.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
I'm surprised they haven't started up pickleball as like a club sport or something.
Pickleball's awesome.
Pickleball is awesome.
But, well, folks, we've enjoyed it. Enjoyed it last night.
Thanks for sticking around with us.
Yeah, get this podcast up. We probably will not have videos inserted this week. We had a little technical issue.
Oh my Lord,
Jeez.
technology.
You know, when things get old, kind of like Randy Bridges' Apple or Mac that
His Mac is like on the fritz, so he had to do a hand drawing.
blowing
Yeah, but
out.
you know what? That's unique. You know,
Yeah.
it's a collector's item or either the
Yeah.
ghost of Alan
Yeah,
Eagle's past.
it is.
It needs to go in the Allen Eagle Hall of Fame Museum.
Exactly.
You know, it needs to be put in there. That's like where we're going to put the golf cart when we're done with this mess one day.
Yes.
Oh, let's not forget the bricks.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah, fundraiser.
Mention people.
Bricks are for sale to put outside the stadium.
Go on the Allen ISD website. Go to the athletics part. If you go to any of the ticket links, they're going to have a link there. They're trying to get you to do bricks.
We need to do that.
So
by the
buy
way.
some bricks. We're gonna buy like 15 bricks and make a big old like display.
What the heck?
I didn't know we were doing that, but
Yeah, I
it sounds
didn't
like
either.
kind of
Whatever.
fun.
We'll do something.
Yeah, that'd
We,
be.
you know, if you support the school, we're gonna
right.
replace that turf $1 at a time.
Yeah, if you go to the athletics page on the district, it's right there. Purchase Allen Eagle stick.
Is that what we're doing? Is
Purchase
trying to
Allen
raise
Eagle Stadium
Because of
brick
brick.
pavers.
Well, we were hoping when they stormed the field that they would like rip the turf and oh my gosh, insurance
If
coverage.
they violated
Insurance
the
coverage.
contract, they might have
Let
to
me tell you what,
They might
pay
be
for
buying the new turf.
Pay for new turf.
There you
that's
go.
right. Insurance claim. We know a lawyer.
We know Highland Park. If they would have won, that they would have ponied up. But
Oh,
Yeah.
Wakeland, I don't know.
Yeah.
So buy a paver, get your name on it, whatever you want to put on it. We're going to do one for the club,
yeah.
and go from there. So.
Yeah, well, you know, and I bought pavers over at Lovejoy High School back in the day.
I have 2 bricks out there.
And I had one brick that said, "Do your homework."
Do you really?
Yes.
That's awesome.
Wow.
That's awesome.
So
man.
if you see that out at Lovejoy,
a-
that was me.
What a spouse of an educator.
That's
Oh,
awesome.
dude. Well, you know, I had like 2 bricks, and I couldn't think of what to put on the second brick. It's like I'm not putting my name on there.
That's great.
Do your homework.
That is great. All right, guys. We got one more game at least. So
All right.
we're
Yep.
looking forward to
And then
it.
it's off to basketball.
Y'all have a good Saturday. Tons of great college football today.
Tons.
So sit back.
And if you want to listen to some high school football, watch some high school football.
It's out
Enjoy
there
that.
too. So
Yep.
until next week, we've enjoyed it. Alan, glad you're back with us.
So
Thank
happy
you.
to have
You
you.
bet.
It's good to be back, y'all.
All right, and it's open.
Good to see my beautiful faces.
We love you.
We love you, man. Peace out, people. Peace out.